welcome to Mana'o Moments. I wanted to just really share my Mana'o regarding the wildfires. Why? Because Hawaii, as you know, and like maybe about a year and a half ago, went through something very, very similar. And so it begs the question, like, are these just coincidences that we can just write off? Or is there something at play here? Karen Bass, who is the mayor of Los Angeles, just days before the fires broke out, she was in Ghana celebrating this inaugural presidential inauguration. When she got wind of what was going on in her city, her response was, "Oh, just keep me updated." If I know that there was a crisis happening in my own home and I was at work or I was somewhere like on vacation and I knew that there was a crisis back at home, I would stop everything and run to the situation. You drop everything, you get on the first plane back to your city and you deal with the stuff. Here in Hawaii, everybody knows who Herman Andaya is. He was the emergency management director for Maui, and he wasn't in Maui when the fire started. He landed literally on Oahu to attend none other than a FEMA emergency disaster seminar. What was striking to me was his response. He just basically said, "Oh, okay, these fires are going on. Just keep me up abreast." I would think that he would be like, "Hey, get me a charter plane right now to Maui because I need to deal with the situation." Which brings me to communication. And so communication was lacking. People on social media were saying that Lahaina police officers were turning them away from the actual exit from Lahaina.
On his way to Kaanapali, Herzog started filming as he entered town. When he was later heading home through Lahaina town just before 3 p.m., he hit this roadblock on the southbound highway. At 3:19, his camera shows a police vehicle blocking access to the highway at Papalaua. At 5:30, Herzog comes to the end of Front Street, and to his surprise,
looks like two police vehicles parked kind of nose to that exit for Front Street.
I asked the chief of police directly at the last press conference, were command and control for fire and police in contact that afternoon in the emergency operations center? He declined to answer that, but says that police were directing the public away from dangerous power lines. Hawaiian Electric says those power lines were de-energized as of the morning.
And so here's my thought on it. If you were having this type of lack of communication, which is vital in a situation like that, then I don't know if I really trust my government or trust its city officials, which is why I advocate to just really think critically about the situation. If the police officers don't know anything and they're telling you go back into the danger zone, and you know in your heart, but that's a danger zone, I'm not going to go back there, then you're going to have to make those spur of the moment wise decisions to save your life. Likewise, in California, come to find out that the Los Angeles fire chief, Christine Crowley, is now saying that they didn't even have water in their fire hydrants. And no one told her that that was the case.
Sandra Endo, one of our anchors, wants to know if the department is advised that the Santa Ynez Reservoir was going to be emptied. Were you aware that there was no water there?
No, we weren't aware of that.
They don't have to advise you?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
So you had no idea that there wasn't such needed resource?
No, we weren't.
But here's what I would give California the benefit of the doubt, because they did a far better job at informing and alerting their citizens and to evacuate. Their evacuation plan was far better than Lahaina ever was. I mean, today, as the date of this recording, there is only like 10 fatalities. Now, even one fatality is too much, but 100 in Lahaina versus 10 in LA. That, I would say, is the difference between properly communicating the situation and circumstance and coordinating the event versus the lack of communication. They didn't sound the alarm, and it was just so dumb because Herman Andaya gave the most preposterous reason why he didn't sound the alarm when the fires were raging towards Lahaina.
Jonathan Vigliotti with CBS News. This question is for Mr. Ndayam. You made the decision not to sound the sirens, which could have saved many lives.
The sirens, as I mentioned earlier, is used primarily for tsunamis, and that's the reason why many of them are found, almost all of them are found on the coastline. The public is trained to seek higher ground in the event that the siren is sounded. Had we sounded the siren that night, we're afraid that people would have gone malka.
This was like it was almost like an eerie similarity. The fire hydrants being dry. This happened a year and a half ago. I certainly hope with all my heart that Hawaii figured it out by now. You can't tell me that California didn't look at that and say, hey, maybe we should learn something from that, because that was a wildfire and we have to deal with that at home. And oh, look, they had empty fire hydrants. Maybe we should check out our fire hydrants. Maybe we should check to see if the reservoir is full of water. I would think that you would at least want to do your job halfway and at least look at a historic wildfire in Lahaina, Maui, and say, hey, what happened there? And maybe we can implement changes here. Isn't that common sense? So in conclusion, I just hope that our government officials learn from this. And if they can't learn from it, I hope that leadership changes. Just look at the allocation of water in Lahaina and LA. Just look at the allocation of funds. Look at the communications. Look at the smug dissonance of our leaders not being present. I'm not saying that wildfires could necessarily be prevented to start, but if you're prepared and if you have everything in order, you can definitely mitigate the risks and you can definitely save lives. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for hearing me out. If you disagree, leave a comment and let's start the discussion. Until next time, aloha. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. If you liked what you saw, simply subscribe for more amazing content. A hui ho and aloha!